The United States military has been on the forefront of technological advancement for a number of decades. To keep up with this trend, it makes sense that so much attention is paid to military technology. As average citizens, we aren't able to see what kind of things are being researched and invented. The only times we have the opportunity to see these things is when they're finally used in combat or declassified by the government. So, now that some of these weapons are open for us to see, we get a chance to look at some extremely unique and terrifying devices. From the railgun to a tank silencer, here are 5 military weapons that you probably won't believe actually exist. In the non-lethal category of military weapons, we have the active denial system. Even though we typically associate non-lethal weapons with police departments and SWAT teams, they are actually needed more than you would think in terms of the military. Think about the times that large crowds have threatened overseas military bases or US embassies. While there is obviously an element of danger there, not everyone there is looking to kill. The active denial system is a large mechanism that emits an invisible electromagnetic radiation beam towards a target and creates a burning sensation on the skin. It has the ability to heat up water molecules in a person's skin up to 130 degrees Fahrenheit from a distance of 500 yards. This would send crowds of people running, thereby eliminating the threat without causing any loss of life. Although some circles of experts have dubbed this non-lethal weapon as a method of torture, military experts have proven otherwise. The temperature at which the skin is heated to only measures a little above the average temperature of a person's shower, which is 105 degrees Fahrenheit. Additionally, this non-lethal deterrent has never shown any negative long-term effects other than giving people a reason not to riot in the future. When discussing military weaponry, the majority of us usually associate the term with guns. Guns are really nothing more than a mechanism for firing a projectile at high velocity towards a target. And by high velocity, we're talking 2,600 feet per second. That is equivalent to over 1,800 miles per hour, or over twice the speed of sound. To make things even crazier, there are many different types of bullets that inflict all sorts of damage. Now, the US Navy is developing an electromagnetic railgun that can fire a projectile at Mach 7, over 5,000 miles per hour. Officially named the 8 megajoule electromagnetic railgun, this ship-mounted weapon would be used to protect warships as an anti-aircraft or anti-missile defense. However, because of the mind-boggling speed at which the projectile would be fired, there are a number of other applications. The railgun is so powerful that it could be used to launch a projectile into space. This increases the striking range of the railgun by many thousands of miles. Firing a projectile at incredible velocity is what makes a gun so deadly. However, with the invention of a railgun, a new standard has been set as to how deadly a projectile can actually be. Furthermore, while guns shoot bullets that can be weighed in ounces, the railgun can fire projectiles that are hundreds or even thousands of pounds. An impact from a projectile of this size would result in explosive damage, even though there would be no explosive charges involved. Camouflage is one of the most important elements for any military. The ability to blend into their surroundings, making it difficult to identify them, is one of a soldier's most useful tools for staying alive. Mostly, camouflage is already part of a soldier's uniform, from the chocolate chip and 3-color desert patterns to the multicam and RPAT patterns. There have been entire outfits, such as the ghillie suit, that incorporate texture and dimension. These are typically used by snipers. A Canadian camouflage company named Hyperstealth Biotechnology has taken it a step further with a technology called quantum stealth. If you've ever seen the movie Predator, you'll remember how its suit would turn invisible. This technology, which is currently being tested and fine-tuned, camouflages people by bending light around the person or object that it is meant to conceal. This renders it nearly invisible to the naked eye, making missions and reconnaissance much safer. The goal would be to use the quantum stealth suit for soldiers, giving them an ability to infiltrate enemy territory without being seen. However, there is still the possibility that heat-sensing technology such as cameras could still detect them. Regardless, with sight being the sense that humans rely on the most, the advantage will still be on the side of the invisible soldier. The ability to stay silent while on the battlefield is a very important thing. Not only are soldiers trained to stay quiet, but they have all types of technology available to them to assist in this task. One of the most popular things is a suppressor, a tool fitted to the end of a gun which muffles the loud bang of gunfire. But in the quest to develop new technology, the tank suppressor was born. Unlike a typical firearm suppressor that can be screwed into place on the end of a gun, a tank suppressor requires a large support to hold it up. After all, it is being used by a tank. Another big difference is that the suppressor is not actually attached to the turret, as it affects recoil that could cause damage to the turret. The suppressor's design allows it to minimize the blast of a tank's cannon. It doesn't fully silence it. Tests have shown that the suppressor will reduce the artillery noise as much as 20 decibels. While this may not seem like much to a regular person, it's the difference between listening to a television and listening to a blender. Over the last couple of decades, unmanned vehicles, or drones as they're known, have become more frequently used. When the situation is too dangerous for humans, the drones have to come in to get the job done, ultimately keeping soldiers out of harm's way. Up until now, though, many of these drones, from helicopters and airplanes to surveillance robots and mini-submarines, have been controlled or piloted by a soldier or an operator that is based as far as a couple of thousand miles away. Although safer for the operators, it still leaves open the possibility for operator error. Now, the military has been experimenting and putting to use technology that seems to come straight from science fiction movies: drones that use artificial intelligence. These unmanned vehicles are being built with tools that assist with quick evaluation and decision-making capabilities, ultimately doing what its creator would have done. The programs would include things like search and rescue, reconnaissance, repair, and combat, among other things. There are many ardent critics of programs such as this, and rightly so. Other experts argue that such programming in drones would give them an unchecked license to kill. To make matters even more dangerous, what happens if one malfunctions or goes rogue? The drone could inadvertently start a conflict by attacking the wrong target, or even worse, purposefully turn on their creator. The pros and cons when it comes to artificial intelligence are so far apart from each other. On one hand, if things go as intended, many more human lives could be saved by the pinpoint precision that these machines would have. On the other hand, though, if things were to go south, there's no telling the damage that could be done or the conflicts that could be started. It is amazing to see what our military's engineers are capable of creating. In the end, while peace is what everyone wants, we always have to be prepared for the worst-case scenario, which is war. And when it comes to war, being second to none is always the first priority. These technologies will give us the upper hand in wars to come. Let's just hope it doesn't actually come to that. To see another video just like this one, be sure to click the link on screen now. Trust me, you won't want to miss it. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.